Hello. Once again, we are serving the Valley. That's the name of this particular program. I'm Roy Justice. Today, I'm going to really make a confession here. I really thought I had the staff convinced we could welcome our guests and they would come riding in on horseback or ponyback or however. They're laughing, but it's not going to happen. I did find out the reason for that, and actually I got a chance to nix it because there was a duty of shovel and wheelbarrow that might be needed, and I was not up for that. So that put an end to that idea. But let's get down to business, because what we're here to talk about, Marilyn Moore had a dream. This is a little bit about Marilyn Moore's dream. Actually, it came true, and it's called Aspire, TRP. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
TRP means?
Therapeutic Writing Program.
And there we are. And that's the subject matter for today. Marilyn's a graduate of UNI, by the way. She got her BA in social work and emphasis on family services. I got that part. Criminology?
Yes.
How did that come into play?
Well, I was only one semester short of getting my second degree in criminology, and I decided I didn't want to do the theory part of it, so I stopped going. Plus, it was a lot of money, so I just didn't finish it out. But, you know, I love school. I love to learn. If you stop learning, you stop living.
Hello.
And so I wanted to learn and learn and learn, except going to college takes money and it takes tests, and I don't like doing tests because I was born with a learning disability.
Okay.
I have a comprehension problem. I can't remember what I read, and I learn hands-on. So show me how to do it, teach me how to do it with hands-on, and I can catch on real fast. Give me an instruction book, and it's very difficult for me.
You brought a friend along who's going to...
She can remember what she reads.
So she is a friend.
Yes.
Angie Langhorn was a volunteer. You're no longer a volunteer. You're part of staff.
Yep.
How did that happen?
I helped out with camp a lot, and Marilyn needed help with it, and so then after camp she asked me to stay on. So now I'm the administrative assistant and the instructor. One
And
of the
whoever
instructors.
thought you'd be sitting here on television talking about it?
Not me.
Well, there were probably times, Marilyn, when you were thinking as you were dreaming about what this may become, you weren't quite sure if it was going to be possible, but it was possible, it is possible, and it's in operation right now. How long ago was the dream just a dream?
21 years ago.
And you're about ready to celebrate.
20 years next year.
So
So it began in June of 1999 with a contract with Iowa Braille and Sight Saving and seed money from R.J. McElroy Trust.
Okay.
That's how it started. But it took about 2 years in the planning prior to that to be able to start. Because we had to gather horses, we had to gather people, we had to gather volunteers, we had to establish a board of directors, and I started it from the grassroots. I never raised money before in my life. You have to remember that when I grew up, I was a very shy young lady. I didn't have a lot of friends. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I was socially inept a little bit. And so to do something out of my comfort zone like this was way beyond my capability. But, right, God says, if you dream it, anything is possible. If you believe, anything is possible. So God gave me the gift to be persistent and with a lot of determination, a lot of passion, and a lot of compassion, and I was set to do it. I said I was going to do it. And don't tell me I can't do something, because I'll show you differently.
And there you are. So this started, okay, about 20 years ago with a dream. We're kind of talking about horsing around here a little bit.
That's funny that you say that, because that was our name to begin with. We were going to call it Horsing Around, and they decided that was too common of a name. So I went to my initial board of directors and I said, we have to change the name. Can somebody come up with a name? We had a physical therapist that I worked with at Allen Hospital at the time, said, I have a name for you. Here it is. It stands for a specialized program involving writing and education. We had to add the therapeutic writing part to it because the Secretary of State said there's too many aspires, so I have to have an ending to it.
Oh, really?
So we added a therapeutic writing program to it, which stands for Two Ride Ponies. No,
Right.
stands for a therapeutic riding program. And then we incorporated it, so it was Aspire TRP incorporated. But
Well, all kidding aside, we really would like to take the cameras out to the barn and see what goes on inside the walls, but we can't. But we've got some pictures, and the
Yes.
pictures kind of tell part of the story.
it helps, yes.
With every one will be 1,000 words or so. Oh, there's my equipment. Had you brought the horses into
Yes.
the studio? Funny, you should put that up first. Tell me a little bit about what some of these are that we're going to be looking at here.
Go ahead.
This picture is one of our mini horse camps. We do miniature horse camp over spring break, and the kids come out for a couple days and they get to enjoy learning about all aspects of taking care of the horses. This one is one of my riders. We're grooming in these pictures. She sometimes for class, if we can't be in the arena, we groom. It gets the kids a little bit more of an ability to bond with their horses that they ride. This is one of my riders that she's ridden with us for a long time, and this is her horse, and this is how she feels.
I got the picture. I got that feeling right there. The term disabilities, that's thrown around a lot. In specifics with what we're talking about with this program, what kind of disabilities are we talking about?
We had 22 disabilities this year, right? Yep. We served 22 different disabilities. Autism, paraplegic, Down syndrome, trauma, anxiety,
Depression,
depression,
ADHD,
ADHD,
That sounds like
Spina
a barn full
bifida.
right there.
spina bifida, yeah.
Okay.
Cerebral palsy.
Yep.
So the list goes on and on, but those are some of the common disabilities that we serve.
The bottom line here is we've seen some of the pictures and there as well. They end up on horses.
Yes.
Yes.
They've never been on a horse before in their life.
A lot of them haven't.
So you get from plan A and sometimes even implementing plan B because it didn't quite go as planned when they first show up.
Sometimes we go to Plan Z.
I see. There is one of those. How many horses?
10.
Okay. There's one of them calling right now. How did that happen? That's never happened before. They want an appointment to ride a horse. Which brings me to this. How do families find out about this being available to their child?
We do a lot of, Marilyn does a lot of public speaking.
Programs like this may help.
Yeah,
Yes.
we do. Kids come out either for one of our camps or they come to our open house and then they learn a little bit more about what we do. Word of mouth is a lot of it. Facebook is a lot of it.
Media coverage.
We've got some social workers and therapists that will recommend that the kids could benefit from this. We've also got doctors that will also recommend that the kids come out, and especially we've got 3 students with spina bifida and their doctor suggested that it would be good for them. So it's a lot of public speaking and a lot of getting our
Sure.
name out there and what we do and the benefits to it.
Where are you? I mean, we were talking about what it is, but where are you?
South Waterloo.
Okay.
We're out by Hawkeye Community College, 8100 Kimball Avenue.
Sure. Okay. All right.
But yes, we're in South Waterloo.
Big red barn.
Big red barn, 118-year-old barn.
Wow. Indoors and outdoors?
Only an outdoor
Oh.
arena.
Okay. All right. So when the cold weather is around, is the program
It's
down
done.
for the season, so to
It
speak?
is. It
Okay.
is. We are not able to serve anyone during the winter due to the weather constraints. However, our vision is to have an indoor arena, so that we can serve the kids year round.
Somehow I thought that was, whatever that plan number is that we left off of, sometime in the future.
Yes. So what happens though is when they stop in the winter, they regress. So when you have approximately 6 months before you can start again, because our seasons have changed some, and we're not able to start until later April, where we used to be able to start in the beginning of April, but our weather has changed enough that now we can't start till the end of April. So you're into the 1st of November until the end of April before you can begin classes again. And so they regress some. So when she starts classes in the spring, some of those students that come back are probably going to have to start over a little bit. So they're always on a first come, first served basis. She always has to do assessments every year to see if there are any changes that happen over the course of the winter. So they have to set new goals and that kind of thing. But we do see some regression. And about the time they get ready to leave in the fall, you have independent riders and you have kids that never thought they could do what they were doing it, and then you stop, and then you have to start again.
So the ideal situation would be, with this arena situation, that the program could certainly expand.
Yes, absolutely. Not only expand to more kids that we can serve year-round, but also training people. Because when we got her and Dale trained to be certified instructors, we had to travel to Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota to get their training. So they have to mentor with certified instructors in order to get certified. So we traveled to these different centers in these different states to get their 25 hours of teaching time under a certified instructor. If we had the facility, we could not only mentor other people that want to be certified instructors, but we also could hold the workshop that they have to go through to become certified.
Okay.
So we don't have to travel to a different state to do that.
Part of organizations like yours, and I'm not sure, is there another service like yours in the area?
No.
Okay. I know
We're
in other
unique
parts
to-
of the state there are
Yeah. No, we're unique to the Cedar Valley. The closest is Miracles in Motion in Stosher.
yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Aspire, it stands for again?
A specialized program involving writing and education.
Okay. You must love the job that you're doing,
I do.
because you've wrapped yourself around it. Your whole life is wrapped around this.
Yes.
And
My house is too.
come to think of it. Let's talk a little bit about how many people, how many families, not necessarily your writing students, but how many families are involved with your program now,
We serve
approximately?
31
31 students.
Okay.
every week this year. And we had a waiting list of students. So, but that doesn't include everybody. So you have the miniature horse camp families, you have Camp Hope families, you have the nursing home families that you take Cody to see. He saw over 1,000 people this year. So you have literally thousands of people. We had over 500 people at our Halloween open house. So you're touching those people because you're showing them what we're about by coming to our facilities.
You can't do this alone, as you well know. It takes, well, a big family to make it work. And there are probably, no doubt, and she says, are you ever going to get to the question about people could help? And there are also probably some supplies that could be used out at the facility. Name off some of that. And by the way, I won't forget about the people that help you operate that. You've got a board of directors that
Yes.
kind of oversees, helps you
Yes.
do what needs to be done. We're going to
Yes.
get to all that.
Yes.
But before we do that, I'm going to take a break like this.
We connect here.
We connect here.
We connect here.
I certainly hope you're learning something about what Aspire is all about. You may have your own definition, but on the program, we're talking about this particular program that is, well, first of all, it made a dream come true for Marilyn Moore. Secondly, it's probably taking, not probably taking, it is taking some students who maybe could use some help with things like self-esteem, mobility, strength, a little self-confidence, certainly flexibility, and they're doing therapeutic horseback riding. But that's not all they're doing. Through the program, Marilyn, they're probably utilizing almost every muscle they have.
Every single muscle, from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet.
Marilyn Moore has watched her dream come true, and that's what we're talking about. I said before the break, you got some help, and you could use some help. So let's cover both of those things. You've got a board of directors
Yes.
that helps you. I know that will change occasionally as their term, if you will. Who's helping you out now as we're preparing this program right now? You're getting help from.
We have Dr. Jeffrey Brand, who is a UNI professor.
Sure.
He's our president. Lisa Lewandowski is our treasurer. Angie Orr is our secretary. And Tony Thompson, the sheriff, is a pseudo director. Wendy Schaefer, Dr. Vapordale Sanders, Amanda Gilbert from KWWL, Jackie Donath, Laura Weber, Amy Musil, and Dr. Wendy Getch, she's a vet, and Nikki Barker.
Excellent. And we thank them for the service that they're providing to Aspire. The real benefit here, of course, is for those who are on those ponies, on those horses, and getting good out of it. What kind of good are they getting out of it?
The improvements we see go from anywhere from being able to talk more. I have a student that started this last spring, and when I first did her assessment, she didn't say anything. She stared blankly at me like I was a foreign object. And within a couple weeks of riding, I now have to sometimes tell her, okay, we need to pay attention now, because she talks nonstop.
So they do become a little more talkative.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
A lot of the riders that come with anxiety and depression, they find happiness being on the horses. As far as the riders that come with physical disabilities, we see improved muscle tone, improved core strength, their abilities to bond. There's another rider that was scared of all animals, and one of his goals was to bond with an animal and not be scared of a dog that might walk up to him outside in real life. And he's really come a long way, and Mom has told me he's no longer scared of other animals. He now leads his horse, he rides his horse, he does amazing things that we didn't know if he would ever get to that point when he first started. There's a lot of physical benefits, there's a lot of emotional benefits, there's the socializing that goes on. All of our classes have 3 students in them, and anywhere from 3 to 9 volunteers. So there's a lot of socializing that goes on that some of these kids don't get. We have a homeschool day. We have morning classes that the homeschool kids tend to fill up, and so they get socialization with other homeschool kids. So there's benefits that range all over, and it helps them not just in classes when they're riding the horses, but it helps them in school. We do a lot of learning how to breathe, how to work through frustration, because ultimately a horse is a horse, and if it decides to horse that day, then we might have some issues. And the riders will tell you, sometimes this horse doesn't want to do what I want it to do. And so it helps them work through, okay, we need to problem solve. What do we need to do to make this horse move? And so that helps them turn around and when they're in class, when they're in school, when they're out in the community, they can relay back to that. And okay, I'm frustrated, but what do I need to do to fix
Sure.
that?
There are opportunities for volunteers in your organization, and I want to give you an opportunity to shop for them at this moment. So there may be somebody out there saying, well, I'm not sure I'm ready to ride a horse. However, I like being around animals. What kind of duties would a volunteer do out there in the barn?
In the barn?
Or outside the barn, around the barn? I can think of the one.
In the office?
Thought I was going to be involved with a shovel here. What else is there to do?
You're exactly right. That we can use volunteers to help in the barn, cleaning stalls. That's quite a physical. But my doctor told me many years ago it's the best aerobic exercise you can do.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
What's good for the outside of the horse is good for the inside of the man.
I see.
So it's therapy cleaning the stalls as well. You just
we
kind
try to
of
make
shut
it
the
fun.
world out when you're out there cleaning stalls, you know?
I see.
And time just passes.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
I said, and we try to make it fun.
Yes.
I
yes.
bet you would be. I'm not quite ready for that yet, but we'll see.
Classes, they can help as leaders and sidewalkers. During class periods, we also have them help at events. So that one-time volunteers might help with events. Board of directors, and in the office. We have a volunteer in the office today helping us. So our volunteers are our core. I mean, we couldn't operate this program without volunteers. So there's hundreds of volunteers that step through our doors. Also, one of the things that Angie's working on is trying to get more businesses and civic groups to come out and do some service learning. So a lot of times we don't have time to do some of the maintenance stuff out there, so we get groups out to help pick up rocks, to fix fence, to strip the stalls and change them out, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of particular things that we don't have time to do all the time that these volunteer groups can come out and help us do.
So if someone wanted to get a hold of you and go through the shopping list, so to speak, how does someone get a hold of you and go through the shopping list, and so to speak?
They can call us 319-296-0964. They can also reach us through the website. There's email information on the website, as well as paperwork is on the website to download.
Okay.
That they can fill out. And there's a section on the paperwork that they can check to tell us what they're interested in. Because we try to match the skills with the volunteer. So they're happy with what they're doing.
Sure. Roughly, how many volunteers are active on your volunteer corps role right now?
Right now, actively, I have about 60 volunteers. Altogether, we've had just over 100 this year.
I'm thinking right off the top of my head, service club organizations that may want to conduct a meeting out there at your facility, not only educate them about what you're doing, but an opportunity for service.
Exactly. We've also done lunch and learns where we bring civic groups out, therapy groups out, businesses, that kind of thing. We bring them out and we feed them a homemade meal, and then we talk about the program.
Excellent. Now, someplace along the pages, it was, you never asked me about. How come you didn't want to discuss whatever? I never get to the end of a program without saying, oh, if we'd had more time, I would have asked him about. I don't have an about right now, but there may be something on your mind that Roy didn't ask us about.
I think one of the things that the public needs to know is that there's a purpose behind what we do. All the kids have progress notes. Every single rider, she has to write progress notes every single time they ride. So we're seeing measurable outcomes. There's a sense of peace about riding, a sense of freedom. We serve adult with paraplegic. Mom says she hasn't seen her smile in a long time, and she smiles. because she doesn't have a disability when she's on top of the horse. You know, you get on a 1,000-pound animal and suddenly everything disappears. And, you know, there's a sense of peace about it. You know, all of a sudden the world doesn't matter anymore because I'm up here. It doesn't matter if I'm dealing with bullying at school. It doesn't matter if I'm dealing with abuse at home. It doesn't matter if I'm dealing with anxiety. Because right now, in this moment, I am riding a horse and I am free.
I don't know if I could put it any better myself, so I won't. Thank you for joining us and educating us. As always, my viewers know I try to beat the clock, and the clock always comes out of the winter on the programs like this. So I'm going to say thank you. Thank you to Marilyn and Angie for joining us, educating us about this very important program. Nice enough for you to tune in and watch us as well. Until our next opportunity comes around, Roy Justice here, as always, waiting to continue serving the Valley.